So now we get to the division algorithm. And the division algorithm is that you multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. So multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. Remember our subtraction algorithm when we had something like this. 8 minus a negative 2. We boxed the thing after the operation. The first number stayed the same. Subtraction became addition. And I'm adding the opposite of that subtrahend to get this. Likewise, in division, you're only going to change the thing that's after my division obelus, my division. For instance, if it's 14 divided by 1/2, like I trained y'all to do here, we want to identify the divisor, keep this the same, division becomes multiplication. The reciprocal means I'm flipping the numerator and the denominator, becomes 2 over 1. Any whole number I make look like a fraction by putting it over 1. I check to see if I can cross simplify because now it's multiplication. I can't, so my answer is 28 over 1, or simply 28. So one more example of applying the division algorithm before you get to try it on your own. I have 3/5 divided by 9/10. First number stays the same. I identify my divisor, 3/5 times the reciprocal, flip it. Now that it's multiplication, I train myself to cross simplify. 3/9 is 1/3. 10/5 is 2 over 1. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. My answer is 2/3. We also know that division comes in many forms. This is always problematic if it's written like this. If you're interpreting the vinculum to be a fraction, I can't have a fraction within a fraction. But y'all know the vinculum is division. So if I were to rewrite it like so, -5/3 is my dividend, 6/5 is my divisor. I identify my divisor. I keep this the same, multiply by the reciprocal. Now that I have multiplication, I try to cross simplify, and here I can't. Don't do it. It's a trap. There's not one on the top and one on the bottom. So the most I can do is I multiply -5 times 5, and then 3 times 6, and my answer is a -25 over 18. I can leave it improper because it's relatively prime. So a word of caution with cross-simplifying, make sure you have a top and a bottom, a numerator and a denominator. You have to have a head and a body. No two heads, no two bodies. Our next example, you're looking at 2 2/9 divided by 5/18. Like we said earlier, for fractions to work, we need them to have a numerator and a denominator only. So this whole number can't be hanging out. 2 2/9 is 9 times 2 plus 2, 29. Then I identify my divisor, multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. Now that it's multiplication, can I cross simplify? Yes. 20 over 5, divide each by 5, becomes 4 over 1. 18 over 9 becomes 2 over 1. Multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. My answer is 8. So now it's your time to practice this. You can go ahead and pause, copy down the questions, and then we'll discuss. Okay, if I'm dividing, I always want to think about the number of negatives I have. In this case, I have an even number, so my answer for sure will be positive. I'm dealing with the mixed number. I'm going to go ahead and change that to the improper fraction, 5/3. This is divided by 4/5. But in order for me to apply my algorithm, I need to change it to multiplication. First number stays the same, then I multiply by the reciprocal of my divisor. I see if I can try to cross simplify. Can't do it, multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms, bring it up here with your sign. My answer is a positive 25 over 12. In this case, I have only one negative, so I know my answer is going to be negative. My divisor is here. I multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. Try to cross simplify. I see 24 over 8 is divisible by 8. That's 3 over 1. And beware, I need a head and a body to cross simplify, so this cannot be done. They're both on the top. So I multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, make sure my answer joins up with the negative at the top. Your quotient is negative 9/5. Both of these are improper, but they're both relatively prime. Therefore, they are both correct. Don't spend time changing things to mixed numbers if you don't have to. The final one is a little strange because we've trained you to put the negative at the top with the numerator. But if this happens to you, know that there are two negatives, so my answer is going to be positive. So my divisor is here. I have 6/5 times the reciprocal of the divisor. I try to cross simplify. I see 2 over 1. My answer is 12 over 7. And yes, it was a positive 12 over 7.
It's actually 22 miles per hour. She was close. Dolphins can go up to 22 miles per hour. All out here has seen Shamu. I'm talking about the big guy himself. By show of hands, who's out here to see Shamu? Just 2 people.
My goodness.
Thank you guys. Y'all walk in, you see Shamu in the beginning.